Miranda, how are you?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm good. So we have some viewers out here watching us on House Nation Music, and this month is all about celebrating women and amazing women like you.
Ashe, and like you as well.
Thank you, love.
Yes.
Thank you. So we're going to spend a little time with Miranda talking about her journey with house music. And also, let me just quick plug. So Femme Tribe is a part of this. We have Spirits in Motion here with us. So there's a lot happening. So happy to be here with all these ladies. So we're going to talk about your early journey. We'll talk a little bit about where you started. And we'll go from there, if that's okay with you.
Yes, absolutely.
All right, awesome. So talk to us, like where'd you start with house music?
So it's been quite a journey now. It's been 10 years. Actually, last year was the 10-year anniversary of my initial debut single, Kissing You.
Nice.
Which came out with Ian Friday and also with Serge Negri on 2 different labels. But it's been 10 years now, which is really incredible and really amazing. And just from there, it's just been growing. I've been able to work with house music DJs and producers all around the world. Some that you know, some that you don't know that are new or budding, which is something that I just love to do, just as I still feel new to this, even though I am true to it.
Nice.
I love to work with DJs and producers that others may not know,
Okay.
And now I'm here, continuing to release music, and I'm just really thankful to be here.
Awesome. Well, we're thankful that you chose house music. And,
Yes.
And I think house music has chosen you. I mean,
Absolutely.
definitely see a lot of great things in how you perform and what you bring when you perform. So talk to us about your early start, where you started, what cities have you traveled and kind of worked in?
So I performed in New York City. Here was actually the first big city and my first paid show that I ever got, which was performing at a Libation anniversary party.
Nice.
And Ian Friday really opened up so many opportunities for me performing in D.C., Boston. I've performed in Miami several times at Winter Music Conference. I performed in L.A., Atlanta, Louisiana. I've gone overseas. I performed in Beirut, Lebanon. Those were just the ones I just did. North Carolina, definitely a lot of places on the East Coast, but, just looking forward to doing more. And just working with a bunch of just really incredible talents, and releasing music. So I'm really thankful to have several releases a year, since I got started. I just released a new project, Ginger, which I know we'll talk more about. Just staying busy. Staying busy. Mm-hmm.
Well, what's great is that the folks that are watching us right now, I mean, you've been everywhere. So you're going to have some friends here that are going to get a treat.
Yes.
Because Miranda, by the way, is going to perform later on. So this is going to be pretty cool. Let's talk about that project. What your recent projects that you're working on right now that we want to make sure everybody's aware of.
Yeah, so I released my independent EP, or released my new EP independently,
Nice.
I guess is a better way to say it, called Ginger. I did that at the first of the year. It's a project that I've been holding on to for quite some time, but just decided, just wanted to go ahead and put the music out, and, these are songs that, I picked the music myself. I wrote all the music besides one song, just wanted to put it out. I've been holding on to it for a long time. But recently I also released a record called Shine with
Nice.
Zephyr and Saint, which I'm really excited about. And I also have an incredible visual to go along with it, which was produced by a beautiful woman and a mother friend of mine, Ashley Alexandria. She goes by the Virgin Artiste. Really incredible. She and her partner, and we envisioned the project, the visual, and they shot it together as a team, and just brought a lot of Brooklyn and that vibration to the visual.
Beautiful.
And then I just released also a record with Kai Alce and NDATL Records, the A. And so the record is called The Bridge.
Okay.
And we have remixes by two of Jersey's own, DJ Beloved and Jihad Muhammad.
Yes.
So super excited about the record. And that's also a record, I mean, sometimes, these records take a while to actually go from the beginning, the inspiration to the actual pressing and, release.
Mm-hmm.
So for me, sometimes it's not that the records get old, but it's like, oh, I'm so ready for them to come out, and I'm always working on something. So it's like, I'm just thankful that these records are coming out now and that people can have the opportunity to enjoy them.
Wow. So it seems like a lot of work. So I know the pandemic's been happening.
Yes.
You have a daughter.
Yes.
And, time is of the essence.
Yes.
So I know, maybe you want to talk a little bit about that. Like, so the work that you've done recently, does it have to do with inspiration from the pandemic, like your inspirations? Let's talk a little bit about that.
So one thing that Ian Friday told me early in us working together was that you have to take the time to take in life, because we're also giving out, creatively. So, I take time to live, I take time to be present, to enjoy the moments of motherhood and having a baby, because these are things that I can never revisit again, and I can't get back, so I've always wondered how I would adjust to motherhood with being an artist, how I would feel, like am I, betraying my artistry because I'm, but the truth is, like I said, I only get this one moment with her, and these moments are very special, and I wouldn't trade them for anything, so for me, what I'm learning to do is really what my dad did with me, because my dad was in the industry and just allowing me to be a part of it. And so that's what I do is, try to make sure that she can be a part of it. I mean, if she was at Grandpa's house. If otherwise, she might have been here with us and just, hanging out and stuff, But just incorporating her into what I do on an everyday basis, and the music and the mayhem, you know what I mean?
Yes.
is just what I'm working towards doing.
That's incredible, like the perspective that you have and how you're trying to stay grounded and being in the moment.
Yes.
Like, and really house music is about that. And
yes.
Some of your lyrics, I'm not going to get into the songs, but really talk about, just being yourself, kind of just, knowing yourself and,
yes.
and just tell me about that one track that when you either wrote it or you got into the production space that you just said, this is me. This song speaks about me. What song would you say that is?
A song that everyone knows or release, I guess, will probably be "Looking for Love." Even though I always, when I sit down to write, my process is that I pray first. And my prayer is very specific. It's always, God, all of you and none of me. So that, and a lot of times, I know that I'm on the right path when I get chills or when I just bust out crying, you know what I mean? It's like, okay, this is good. We on the right path, for this, but I let the record speak to me, because I always think of a record, as not a person, but an entity, a spirit, so it's all about dressing it, right?
Yes.
So it already has the spirit, you know what I mean? Like we all have spirits already, right? And our exterior is just the dressing of our spirit. So that's kind of how I look at a record. But I will say that "Looking for Love" was one of my earlier records, which was on my EP with Ian Friday. And I wrote it right after my maternal grandmother passed away. And it just was a very, vulnerable record for me. And, doing the visual for it and all of that. So I would say, but for the most part, like, I tried to put everything that I'm experiencing and feeling at that time into whatever I'm working on. I definitely, I don't You know, I don't skimp, if that makes sense. You know what I'm saying?
You don't hold back.
I don't hold back. Exactly.
Yeah, we feel it.
So
believe me. Listen, us DJs feel it. I know, you know, I did a set on, it's not about me, but I did a set on WBLS and I played one of your tracks. And I mean, to be sitting here with you and just knowing, like, the feeling that you get from when you sing, and I saw you perform in Coney Island this summer, which was just amazing. You know, you just bring this power. And like you said, all of you and none of me. Sounds like the title of a track. I don't know.
Yes.
I don't know.
I love it.
Yes. So let's talk about writing. I know, you know, you have a catalog, I believe, that, you know, you have music and possibilities of writing for anyone. Would you be open to that?
Yeah. I mean, I actually started off wanting to just be a songwriter because I feel, you know, and even still, I do still feel this way, that, you know, being an artist can be very intrusive. You open up your life to, you know, the magnifying glass and people's ideas and opinions and, you know, all these kinds of things. But, you know, such is life. Yes. God moves and said, hey, this is what you know, we should be doing. But yeah, I have so many records. Sometimes I forget about these records. I'll have those days where I'll just like come across a record in my email and I'm like, oh, I did write that record, or oh, I did reference that record, or oh, I do still have that record. Somebody should hear this record, or maybe I should do this record again, or do it over because nobody's heard it, you know. And you know, it just goes back to, for me, one of my earliest musical mentors was Delvin Franklin. And he worked for The Was, also known as the Wonderland Art Society, which is Janelle Monáe's label.
Nice.
And so I spent a lot of time there in Atlanta in my earlier just like songwriting days, going to parties there, going to sessions there, you know, interacting with the band and just different parts of the machine, you know, as Delvin would always refer to it. But one thing he always told me and encouraged me to do was to make timeless music. And so if you make timeless music, it doesn't matter when it comes out, you know. Beautiful. And so for me, one thing I realized is like life happens, you know. I got pregnant. I wasn't necessarily planning on getting pregnant, you know what I mean? But I knew falling in love sometimes makes a baby, you know what I'm saying? But I was thankful because I've always been working, you know. I've always been creating music, whether it was going to come out today, tomorrow, or, you know, 6 months or a year. So when I got pregnant, I had all these records already ready to come out, you know. And so I think just planning ahead, you know, how they say planning for a rainy day, you know, even with the music, and just staying consistent. And if you're making good music, if you're making timeless music, it can come out whenever it needs to come out.
Nice. So artists out there, if you're stuck, you don't have a song, but you want to sing and you just need it, just hit us up here. We'll give you the information on how to get with Miranda later. So talk to me about, you mentioned a couple of things, like I'm trying to unpack some of the things you said. So I think about inspiration. Sometimes you know, that happens to artists in general. Like, you know, where do you draw your inspiration maybe when you get to a point? I just said maybe there's some artists out there that maybe just, you know, don't have that song, that they just can't get it done. Where do you draw your inspiration from?
Honestly, I just really draw it from life, you know, feeling. You know, like I said, I think about when what is the music giving me, right? Because I'm not a producer, you know, so I'm only half of the you know, the whole total package, right? Gotcha. So I'm thinking about everything from how are people moving, you know, what kinds of sounds do I feel like really are touching people and really, like, you know, when they really on the dance floor, because that's what I think about a lot of times is the dancers, you know, and just how the way that they're using their body as this tool of freedom and just like, you know, just this grand thing, you know. So yeah, so those are things that I think about. You know, I think about the space that I'm in, you know, and it is work, you know. I don't want to, I feel like, you know, sometimes we get caught up in the inspiration, and I do want artists to understand that it's a lot more than just inspiration.
Good.
And you're gonna have to do some work.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? And work don't always feel like inspiration. Sometimes it feel like work. Okay.
Yeah.
So, it's just about, what do you want to do? Like, is this a good record? Like, sometimes you have to create, create a system for yourself. It's, music is also about systems. The same way if you go wherever you work, you have systems in place to help you succeed. You know what I'm saying? For the days when your mind maybe is foggy, or you don't have that inspiration, you have systems in place to help you get to your goal.
Nice.
And so I think that's the same thing that we have to do as artists, is to have those systems in place. Every day may not be a writing day as an artist, or some days might be planning days, some days might be you got to connect with people, and everything takes a certain level of art and inspiration. You know what I'm saying?
Gotcha.
Today might be you inspired to talk to people a little more. You're inspired to reach out and create new opportunities for yourself, or new connections. And then other days, it's the same, creating, writing, singing, rapping, whatever it is that you do. So,
nice.
That's the biggest thing. Just create systems for yourself and try to push yourself. Because if you have that in place, then I think, that's what helps build longevity.
Gotcha. And so 10 years, you said, right? So if you could go back to your 10 years ago self and just say one thing to yourself about anything, life, this, what would that be?
Keep that French jacket. Keep them boots.
Yes.
You're going to be able to fit back into that. That was so cute. No, I would just, I would really just say to myself, that there's a lot more before you that you don't even know is coming. And maybe work a little bit harder, because, you already worked hard, and these are the fruits, but maybe don't doubt yourself as much. And I think that's the biggest thing. I think if I could have erased doubt a lot earlier, and even just the inklings of doubt that I still have, from now and again, I would be a lot further ahead for sure. You know what I mean? And just claiming it, and also, humility is beautiful. It's amazing. But also you got to let people know, I am here.
Yes, baby.
I am here. What's up?
Yes.
What's up with this? What we're doing?
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Love it. Yeah.
And if we not going to do it here, then I'm moving on. You know what I mean? So, that just having that attitude, a little bit of that yay spirit. You got to have a little bit of yay spirit about your life. Not too much, but a little bit.
A little dab.
A little dab. A dab will do you.
Yep.
Like sour cream.
Yes. So we talked about quite a bit, and when I think back on just our history as we grow up, and just like you talked about, sometimes the self-doubt, or whether it's just not knowing what tomorrow brings, because none of us know what tomorrow brings, but just thinking about the future a little bit for yourself. Where do you when you say, I like to think about Kobe Bryant, that Mamba mentality, right? Having that direction, and no matter what, learning from your success, learning, growing from your failures, and no matter what, staying on target. What is that for Miranda? That I'm laser focused. There's a light in front of us right now I'm looking at. I'm laser focused. What is that for you?
I mean, the 10 years and the focus is ultimately just happiness, joy, and health.
Okay.
And I think that is, definitely a flower unfolding right within itself. But just joy, in my life and my relationships with my music, healthy of mind, body, and spirit, being able to provide a space where other people feel healthy and whole in my space, and just freedom just from a lot of the things that I think we've all been taught, and that we've all been unpacking and really unlearning over the last couple of years, really collectively. You know what I'm saying? There's been this collective shift of mind, and just what people are really understanding and coming to understand that they can do. So I want to do more. I want to stretch myself. I want to do all the things that I kind of have deemed or like have been taught that are just like more difficult things to do, you know. But I'm thankful for the people in my life, you know, the mentors in my life, the people that I've met along the way that are challenging themselves, you know, and them challenging themselves are challenging others, and you know, me especially, and helping me to see like, you know, we can push beyond the boundaries that are set for us.
You said mentors, and I'm thinking about what this represents like for us, right? We have some women watching us today, and this whole segment and everything that's going on with these, you know, over 100 women DJs and everything that's happening, right? And performers, you know, when you think about the young women coming up, or just women in general, there's women that start this later in life, right? What advice would you give them? Like, you think about women empowerment, how do we help them? So maybe they don't hit some of the like, you need some of those stumbling blocks. I mean, the learning experience, right? But what advice would you give anyone coming up or coming into this?
I mean, just women in general, or just, you know, whether it's music or just becoming, right? Becoming yourself, becoming a woman, taking up space, you know. And I think that's probably the best advice that I could give women, is just to encourage them to take up space, you know. And it doesn't always look like being loud or being seen or being this, but like, take up your space, whatever it is, you know what I mean? Like, if you're a brain, if you're smart, you know, be smart. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't let anybody box you in. Don't let anybody push whatever it is that you're amazing at down. You know, take up your space, be proud, be unapologetic. And also, you know, I want to encourage women to just at an earlier age start connecting with the people that see you, you know, and gravitate to those spaces where you are seen, and to the people where you are seen, but just always keep your eyes open, you know, while keeping your eyes open. But instead of trying to force somebody to see you, go to the places where you're seen, you know, and where you're watered, you know?
Yeah, like, who's pouring love into you early on, and a lot of times we don't see it,
right?
Like, as a kid, it's your mom, it's that auntie or big mama or whoever that is, your grandmother, whatever, you know. A lot of times we don't really take it in, and sometimes we make those fatal mistakes and lose those moments, like you talked about when we first started. It's like that, and then you know, creating and staying in your space and all of that. You know, I love what we're talking about. I know we kind of we need to get to the music, get to you know, a couple of songs that you're gonna sing, but you know, I just wanted to say, one is thank you. Thank you for being here and just like helping us create an experience. Because when I think about you, and you know, I was thinking about this on my drive here today, is like, from the moment that I heard your music and then when I saw you, it was an experience.
Thank you.
That's what I felt. It was an experience, and I think you create that, and I think everyone that hears your music today is gonna, I hope, walk away feeling a good experience, you know. So anything you want to say before we wrap up this part of the segment?
Well, just thank you, you know, thank you to all the viewers, all the women, you know, watching, listening, and just mostly just stay encouraged, you know, keep your chin up, you know, as I always tell all my good friends, you know, because we're the only ones stopping us, you know what I mean? So if we just get out of our own way and see ourselves higher, bigger, brighter, and better every day, you know. And today is a new day. Don't worry about yesterday, a year ago. Don't worry about all that stuff. You know, if God gave you today is a new day.
Beautiful.
So, but with that said, you know, listen to the music. I hope that you enjoy it. My name is Miranda Nicole. The vibration is Glam Soul. You can find the new project, Ginger, on glamsoul.bandcamp.com/album/Ginger. And if you're on Instagram, Glam Soul Star. Other than that, music and merchandise is there on my Bandcamp. I've got lots of really fun things. I actually brought you guys some gifts. So of some new things that I'm working on. And I just also want to encourage all the women, just all the people watching and listening, be dynamic. You know, you might be a singer, You know, you might be a mother, you might be an entertainer, a DJ, a drummer, whatever it is that you might do, but you might have other things that, you know, you want to pursue as well, or other things that God has given you. And I always, I think of ideas like jumping beans, right? Because they all want to come alive, right? But sometimes, like, how many of us have sometimes seen somebody doing something, like, oh, I want to do that. Well, the idea wanted to come alive, and you weren't watering it.
Yes.
So these ideas want to come alive, and if it's not you, it's going to be somebody else. So it might as well be you. Yes. You know, and all of us, you know, we share great ideas. That's what makes them great. So just want to encourage everybody to be dynamic, and just be your amazing, beautiful self.
I love that.
Yes.
I love that.
And I hope that my music can be the soundtrack to that as
yes. Well. Okay. I don't have much to say. That was amazing. So thank you for being with us today on House Nation Music, brought to you by House Nation Music, the Banger Podcast. If I don't say that, I'm going to get beat down today. And Millie Milz Vega, and also Femme Tribe. So thank you for being here, and we're going to cut right to this music segment. I can't wait to hear you.
Yes, thank you so much. Peace and blessings.